Welcome to Nick Saban Junior Sports Talk TV. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like and subscribe to the channel. Please watch the video all the way from beginning to the end. And make sure y'all hit the notification bell as well. So right now, I have a big-time Georgia fan. My first cousin. Been a Georgia fan for longer than most of y'all Georgia fans that's probably on YouTube been a Georgia fan. And we're going to do a fan reaction of Mike Bobo being hired as the offensive coordinator. So what's going on, Heart of the South?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great, man. So what was your initial thoughts when you heard Todd Monken was leaving for the Baltimore Ravens?
The initial reaction to him leaving is obviously I hated it. Sucked. I think it's because he kind of reset our mindset in Georgia, what an offense can look like. So, yeah, I definitely hated it, but I understood the move because Monken, I don't think I've ever seen him stay anywhere more than, 3 years?
That's fact.
3 years, maybe 4.
Fact.
So you kind of automatically knew when he came to Georgia what the plan was. The plan was to get himself back up top and then take a job either as a head coach in college or some kind of positional job. Coordinator job in the NFL. So yeah, it was expected.
Yeah, because I kind of heard that one of Todd Monken's goals is to be an NFL head coach as well. So, yeah, and I honestly thought he would have left after last year because, we live in the college era now that the next hottest name is the next best thing, So, immediately after that, you hear Mike Bobo has replaced him as the offensive coordinator. And, Mike Bobo was the offensive coordinator there before. So, I'm going to ask you this. How did you feel about him being the offensive coordinator the first go-round, his first stint?
So it's because it's kind of a crazy loaded question because the first time around, I think he did a great job for what he had.
Yes.
For what he had. A lot of people are products of the moment. And a lot of people, like, for example, let's use Alabama, right? You're an Alabama fan.
Yeah.
If you talk to most people, they don't remember anything about Alabama before they start winning all these national championships.
That's facts.
But I remember Alabama when you couldn't name a single player on the team. And if you asked anybody who was an Alabama fan about Alabama, the only person they could name you was Coach Bear Bryant, who they never even seen coach.
That's facts.
So once Alabama started winning, now the only thing everybody wants to talk about is Alabama making it to the national championship. And either it's national championship or it's a bust season. Because they're products of the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like for Georgia fans, that they're in that same realm right now where they're products of the moment. We just won back-to-back national championships. So anything outside of that is a failure to them. And so they look at Mike Bobo and they think of Mike Bobo as in this failed coach or this failed coordinator when they don't realize we did not have the level of talent on those Georgia teams as we do now.
That's facts.
We did not have a Kobe Dean. We didn't have a George Pickens. We didn't have a Brock Bowers or a Darnell Washington. We didn't have those type of players. Now, we had some names here and there. You can sprinkle in a Todd Gurley, and then obviously Chubb ended up coming, Swift ended up coming, Stafford, Murray. You would sprinkle in names here and there. But overall, as a team, we did not have the team that we have now. And a lot of times what people do is they forget that these coordinators, they have up and down years. And what happens is when they have those mediocre seasons or down years, they leave, they learn, and then they go somewhere else and they get better. Same concept with Monken. Monken has not, I know right now as Georgia fan, we think Monken is the greatest offense coordinator in the history of sports. But they don't remember Todd Monken absolutely sucked with the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
Todd Monken absolutely sucked with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Todd Monken has had failed offensive coordinator moments, and what he did was the same thing that Bobo did, which is he left those situations, he learned, and he got better. He came to Georgia, won, and then now he's trying to continue to evolve. And I think again, to get back to the question, his first stint in Georgia, I feel like he did an amazing job for what he had at that time at Georgia.
And I agree 100% with you because you got to think about football at this time period then. You look at Mike Bobo's numbers, that was actually good for the type of football that was being played at that type of thing, because it was a run based thing. Everybody wasn't trying to air the ball out. So you go back and look at the numbers, it was like it was good football. So what are Georgia fans mad about? But exactly what you said, people are stuck in the moment. So with that being said, how did you feel when you heard that he replaced him this go around?
So, I felt kind of okay. Like, I wasn't excited about it, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I felt like it was more. I felt like it was already planned, because once I saw him get hired to come in as I think he was an assistant offensive coordinator or a co-coordinator or something like that. As soon as I saw him originally get hired, I knew that was going to be the plan. Like, it was kind of the writing was on the wall. The thing I like about it is a lot of fans might not know, he actually recruited, I think it was Gunnar Stockton, our third quarterback.
Okay.
And Gunnar Stockton wanted to go and play for Bobo when Bobo was in South Carolina. So it actually might help us keep him, because in this day and age in college football, once those big 5 stars don't get to play, them guys kind of get out the door soon.
Yes, sir.
Sooner or later. And right now, where they're talking about Beck might be the starter, and then you got Brock Vandegrift next, and then you got Stockton. I think Gunnar actually might be more inclined to stand now that he knows Bobo is there. So I think that's a really good thing for that. Secondly, I think it's a good thing because when those guys move around to learn, they also learn the terminology and the play calling of the person who they behind. Mm-hmm. So my hope is that he sat there and learned from Monken, learn the terminology, learn the plays, learn his logic behind why he calls what he calls. And he's going to keep a lot of that and just kind of keep the, almost in a sense, he's inheriting a foreign car, and the only thing he got to do is keep the car on the road. Yeah. He ain't got to build the car up. He's just keeping the car on the road. And with the increased amount of talent he has, compared to the teams before, he needed to put up points. These teams now, yes, they're a Kirby Smart-led defense. Mm-hmm. It is pretty much just don't lose the game. Yeah. And so I think he's going to be more comfortable. I think he's going to do a good job. And, I mean, what do we average this year? 40 points a game? Something like that? Mm-hmm. Only thing he needs to do is average 32, and we should still be okay. Yep. So I think he's going to do a great job. He's going to definitely get the tight ends more involved. He's going to get the running backs more involved. And right now, our team is built around those tight ends. So I don't foresee any huge drop off. So I like the hire. I thought it was a good hire. Yeah, it's a hire within house too.
I mean, personally, I thought it was a good hire too, because it's one of the things I brought up. Only thing that I see, and you got ahead of me on that on what you said too, because only thing I can see that would be affected a little bit is the quarterback position. And just because I know with coordinators, these kids built their relationships around the coordinators. So what you going back to saying, he recruited Gunnar Stockton, and most people think Carson Beck is the next up. That's why I say it'll affect that, because Carson Beck might not be the guy now. It might be a Gunnar Stockton, because it's all built on relationships and whoever that coordinator is feeling. But I still don't think the quarterback position will drop off. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, on paper, and I say on paper because we haven't seen anybody any of these guys on the full game basis yet, but I think it's the best quarterback rooms in the country, me personally.
Yeah, and then a lot of people don't realize either. I know they kind of already writing Carson Beck in as a starter, but a lot of people don't realize Carson Beck was the backup quarterback before Stetson Bennett, and Stetson Bennett overtook him.
Yeah, facts.
So, if anything, that shows that, I mean, obviously I'm not there. I don't know what this kid is doing. I don't know how much he has grown. I don't know how he's leading the locker room and so forth and so on. But just based off of the fact that Stetson Bennett was supposed to be the third string quarterback, and he took it from you, and then kept it for 2 years basically, that just says that, hey, there's a chance that Brock and Gunnar has a chance of taking it from Carson as well. And then I think a lot of Georgia fans is going to unfairly judge Bobo, because unfortunately, after having back-to-back championships, a lot of the fans, their mindset is they want another championship. Yeah. And it's very unrealistic. There has not been a team that has three-peated in college football. Like, there's no team that has done that. And Georgia fans are going to be expecting him to do something that has never been done. So anything short of a three-peat is a failed season to a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then what they're going to do is they're going to point to him as the reason why. It doesn't matter if that defense gives up additional 10 points a game. It does not matter. They're going to look at it as Todd Monken was able to outscore these other teams. Why weren't you? And they're going to look at it as a failed season. Me personally, I'm going to look at a successful season as did he fall in the realm somewhere around what we averaged last year? If our seasonal average for points was 42, if he comes in and finishes the season at 40, I feel like it was successful.
Yeah.
If he finished the season with 38, I feel like it was successful.
Yeah.
Now, if we finish the season at 42 and then he finished the season with 25, that's a failed season to me.
Yeah, yeah. And see, what you exactly said, this is what I go back to Alabama. I'm like, we all wanted Pete Golding and Bill O'Brien out the door. But I said, when it was all said and done, I go back and reflect on it. I said, I asked the question to my guys that I said, if we had to keep one, Bill O'Brien or Pete Golding, who would you rather keep? Most people said they would have rather kept Pete Golding. And I looked at it different. I said, because we average 40 points a game with Bill O'Brien. And when you average that many points, you should be able to win the game. But I go back to moments with Pete Golding not making adjustments. So I go back to the Tennessee game, most importantly. Listen, they scored lights out. You had one receiver to catch 6 touchdowns, 6 catches for 5 touchdown passes. Then when they get to the end of the game, they took 2 big plays to get in field goal range. That's what I look at. Then you go back to the LSU game. It was moments between their 2 other games, but go back to the LSU game. When we get in overtime, they scored right away. And you know what I'm saying? It was like, so to me, it was a Pete Golding thing, It was a Pete Golding thing. I would really rather kept Bill O'Brien. I didn't want either one of them, but if I had to choose one, I would have kept Bill O'Brien because most Alabama players say it was with the athletes. Well, regardless, it was the athletes. The athletes couldn't do it on the defensive side of the field because of the situation that you put in. But I agree with you with the Mike Bobo situation, though, man. I agree with you, but before we get let them know how long you've been a Georgia fan, man.
Man, I started following Georgia in 92, I want to say it was.
Oh, that's
92. Because I remember I got a water bottle from your dad, and it was a South Carolina Gamecock water bottle. And I had to look up to see where the Gamecocks was at. And then when I saw it was in South Carolina, I was like, I don't want to be a South Carolina fan. And then so I was like, I need to pick who my team is. And I went and picked Georgia. And that was it. I followed Georgia ever since.
And so the reason why I asked that question, because you're going to have these people in the comments be like, oh, he's not a real Georgia. They're going to say all crazy stuff. But I remember this. I'm bringing this up because I remember when the Falcons and the Broncos were in the Super Bowl, and you were happy. And I thought you was a Broncos fan, but I didn't realize at the time because I was a kid. I was a kid, but you was happy for Terrell Davis because he was a Georgia guy. I was a kid then. So
Terrell Davis.
Yeah. But hey, that's all I want to talk about. Get your thoughts on the Mike Bobo situation overall. I think Georgia be all right because like you said, people they fail, but they go and learn. They go and learn, and they come back as a better person. This one thing too. Todd Monken endorsed Mike Bobo before he left. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that said a lot that somebody like Todd Monken, what he did before he left Georgia, would have endorsed somebody like Mike Bobo. And again, with Mike Bobo, you got a Georgia guy from the heart there. So he's going to be well invested in keeping this program and offense running the way it's been going, or if not better, you know what I'm saying? So
fingers crossed.
Yeah. And then what I do say, I said, it's question marks with anytime you replace a coordinator, head coach, or a quarterback. It's always question marks. We always think what it's going to be, but it's a big question mark in the end. But that's all, man. Thank you for coming in and doing this for me, man. We had to wait for it a little bit because my man busy about to make the transition out of the military in a couple more years to the civilian life, and wish you much success on that. And I know you're gonna kill that.
All right, appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So we just got the Georgia fan reaction from a real Georgia fan on the Mike Bobo, Todd Monken leaving, Mike Bobo in. So let me know in the comments what y'all thought about that. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like and subscribe, share it with everybody. Make sure you hit the notification bell and roll Tide.